So now let's cover the most interesting part, how we can set up the inheritance using classes. Because I would still want Sarah to have the property of the ID and also to have the method of show ID. And it is very simple. All we have to do is after we have the class name, then we need to write another keyword, which would be extends. And then we need to write what class we would want it extended from. So obviously in this case, we would want to extend it from the employee, and now we just save it. Now there's still one thing left to do, is that we still need to have an access to this constructor. So we know that we have the employee of the constructor, and then we also have for the manager of the constructor. So in our case, we would need to figure out how we can access to the employee constructor method. And the way we do that, we just set it up over here, a method name of super. So once we write this, now we also need to figure out what's happening with a parameters, since this constructor is looking for a parameter of an ID. So if I'm going to go back to a constructor with a manager and pass the parameter of the ID, and here we're going to do the same thing of passing back the parameter to a super, and finally we're going to add it to a new instance of the class, which is Sarah. So if we're going to say 34, and once we save it, sure enough, the Sarah has the ID of 34. The name is going to be the Sarah, and the department is going to be the sales. And also we can just show the ID. So Sarah has Sarah, show ID. And you notice how much cleaner and how much better looking this one is. And instead of dealing with a prototypes and the constructors, we can just write extends the employee. And then we need to set up the super.